अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि
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 बोल।
बोल। All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण
All glories to assembled
हरे
devotees.
कृष्ण
All glories to assembled
हरे
devotees.
कृष्ण
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
हरि हरि बोल।
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatale. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेव।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। श्रीमद्भागवतम Canto 3 Chapter 15 Description of the Kingdom of God. Text 70. I'll recite first and then we can take turns reciting. So this will be the Brahma Samhita meter. Vaimanika salalanascharitāni shashvad गायन्ति यत्र शमलक्षपणानि भर्तुः अन्तर्जलेनु विकसन् मधुमाधवीनाम् गन्धेन खण्डितधियोऽप्यनिलं क्षिपन्तः वैमानिकाः सललनाश्चरितानि शश्वत् गायन्ति यत्र शमलक्षपणानि भर्तुः अन्तर्जलेनु विकसन् मधुमाधवीनाम् गन्धेन खण्डितधियोऽप्यनिलं क्षिपन्तः वैमानिकाः सललनाश्चरितानि शश्वत् गायन्ति यत्र शमलक्षपणानि भर्तुः अन्तर्जलेनु विकसन् मधुमाधवीनाम् गन्धेन खण्डितधियोऽप्यनिलं क्षिपन्तः। Please chant.
वैमानिका सललनाश्चरितानि शाश्वत् गायन्ति यत्र समलक्षपनानि भर्तुः अन्तर्जलेन विकसन् मधुमाधवीनां गन्धेन खण्डितधियोऽप्यनिलं क्षिपन्तः।
कृष्ण भैमानिका सा ललनाश्चरितानि शश्वत् गायन्ति यत्र शमला शपनानि भर्तु अंतर्जले अनुविकसं मधु मधु मधवीनां गंधेन खंडित अनिलम क्षिपन्तः। हरे कृष्ण।
वैमानिका सललना चरितानि शाश्वत गायन्ति यत्र समलक्षपणानि भर्तुः अन्तर्जलेनु विकसन् मधुमाधवीनां गन्धेन खण्डितधियोऽपि अनिलं क्षिपन्तः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। वैमानिका साललनाश्चरितानि शाश्वत गायन्ति यत्र शपणानि भर्तु अन्तर्जले अनुवीक्षन् माधवीनां गन्धेन खण्डितधियो अपि अनिलं क्षिपन्तः। हरे कृष्ण।
Anyone else? Okay. We'll do what to the translation. Vaimanikaha, flying in their airplanes. Sallalanaha, along with their wives. Charitani, activities. Shashwat, eternally. Gayanti, sing. Yatra, in those Vaikuntha planets. Shamala, all inauspicious qualities. Shapanani, devoid of. Bhartuhu, of the Supreme Lord. Antahjale, in the midst of the water. Anuvikasat, blossoming. Madhu, fragrant, laden with honey. Madhavinam, of the Madhavi flowers. Gandhena, by the fragrance. Khandita, disturbed. Dhiyaha, minds. Api, even though. Anilam, breeze. Kshipantaha, deriding. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes, accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally sing of the character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of all inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming Madhavi flowers, which are fragrant and laden with honey. Purport.
Interesting.
It appears from this verse that the Vaikuntha planets are full of all opulences. There are airplanes in which the inhabitants travel in the spiritual sky with their sweethearts. There is a breeze carrying the fragrance of blossoming flowers. And this breeze is so nice that it also carries the honey of the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
The inhabitants of Vaikuntha, however, are so interested in glorifying the Lord that they do not like the disturbance of such a nice breeze while they are chanting the Lord's glories. In other words, they are pure devotees. They consider glorification of the Lord more important than their own sense gratification. In the Vaikuntha planets, there is no question of sense gratification. to smell the fragrance of a blossoming flower is certainly very nice, but it is simply for sense gratification. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha give first preference to the service of the Lord, not their own sense gratification. Serving the Lord in transcendental love yields such transcendental pleasure that in comparison, sense gratification is counted as insignificant.
Fantastic.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all very much for joining in today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. And also welcome to the devotees who are attending the Bhagavatam class at ISKCON for the benefit. Thank you for joining. So we are reading from this chapter, Description of the Kingdom of God. So do you know what is the context here? Why are we discussing the Vaikuntha planet? Anyone remembers? What's the context? Why are we discussing the Vaikuntha planet? I think some of you are attending regularly. You can help us. No?
Just Jay and Vijay were there.
Okay, so correct only, Prabhuji, but little bit more you have to give. Okay, I'll just tell you. Thank you for
I'm just thinking what, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So, if you remember, the previous chapter, 14th chapter was Diti's pregnancy. So what happened after that? Diti's pregnancy at a wrong time. She conceived at a wrong time. So because of that, the consequence was she would give birth to two very cruel, ferocious demons who will cause disturbance in all the three planetary systems. So now, of course, so after that, her husband gave her a benediction, and we read about that, how um, her grandson would become Prahlad Maharaj. And also that her sons would be killed by the Lord. So that kind of pacified her. However, the fact is, now she's pregnant, and these, her, progeny, she knew it's going to be 2 sons who will be great asuras. So therefore, she was bearing them. She's bearing the semen of Kashyapa Muni within her womb for a long time. Because once they come out, they are going to create havoc. But what was the result of her holding such powerful, semen of Kashyapa Muni, or the embryos in her womb for a long time? There was darkness in the whole universe, in all the planets. So the demigods, they were perturbed. They approached Brahmaji. So we saw, so that's how this chapter started, 15th chapter. They approached Brahmaji and they prayed to him. First of all, they glorified him as if he is himself the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And finally, they said that there is darkness. And they even, said that this is because of Diti. So they said, the embryo created by the semen of Kashyapa in the womb of Diti has caused complete darkness throughout the universe. So what are they praying to Brahmaji? Please have mercy on us. Cast your merciful glance on us, because we are in a very miserable condition because of this darkness. All our work is suspended. We are not able to do any work. So what is their expectation? We see how they glorified Lord Brahma as if he is the Supreme Lord. Their purpose of this was, please save us from these 2 powerful demons. So what was Brahmaji's response? Brahmaji simply, laughed. Why? Because you are all glorifying me as if I'm the Supreme, but I'm not the Supreme. And the other thing was, I won't be able to save you from these 2 demons. And then, at least, he started explaining the cause for this darkness and what the history. What is the history behind these true personalities who are now in the womb of Diti? How, such great such powerful demons. Who are they? How did they come here? To explain that, Brahmaji began his description with, his 4 sons, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, Sanat Kumar, how they are able to travel in this whole material creation as well as in the spiritual world. They are able to travel. So like this, traveling and traveling, once they happen to come to Vaikuntha. That's how it started. Then when they came to Vaikuntha planet, what is the scene in Vaikuntha planet? So now Brahmaji is describing the Vaikuntha planets. In the Vaikuntha planets, all the residents have the same form as the Supreme Lord Narayan, like they have 4-handed form. And they all engage in devotional service to the Lord without desires for sense gratification. And that's also the theme of today's verse. That the devotees in Vaikuntha serve the Lord without any desire for sense gratification. Further, in the previous couple of verses we read, in the Vaikuntha planets, the Supreme Lord is the original person And he is understood through Vedic literature. He is full of uncontaminated goodness without any passion or ignorance. So material goodness and Shuddha Sattva, spiritual goodness, it's not the same. It's not that material goodness, when you separate all passion and ignorance, that is Shuddha Sattva. No, Shuddha Sattva is of a different quality. So the Lord, his form, everything about him is from Shuddha Sattva. He contributes religious progress for the devotees. So that was the description about the Lord. Then description of the planet, the Vaikuntha planet. In those Vaikuntha planets, there are many forests which are very auspicious. In those forests, the trees are desire trees, and in all seasons they are filled with flowers and fruits, because everything in the Vaikuntha planets is spiritual and personal. So that was the previous verse. The forests are filled with trees. The trees are desire trees. All trees are desire trees. We also read in Brahma Samhita. The trees are desire trees. Chinta, Mani, Prakara, Sadma, Sukalpa, Vriksha, Kalpa Vriksha. All trees are desire trees. And in all seasons, they are filled with flowers and fruits. Because everything in Vaikuntha is spiritual and personal. After that, we come to today's verse. In the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes. Now we are going to read about the inhabitants of Vaikuntha planet. In the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes, accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally sing of the character and activities of the Lord. So, if you look at this verse, Vaimanikaha sa lalanash charitani shashwat gayanti yatra shamalak shapanani bhartuhu. So, Vaimanikaha means what? Vaimanikaha. So, Vimana means airplane. Vaimanika means those who are flying in the airplanes. So, the residents, Vaikuntha Vasis, who are flying in airplanes, they are Vaimanikas. Those who are traveling in Vimanas are Vaimanikas. Are they traveling alone? No. Sa Lalana. Lalana means they're, beautiful ladies, their wives. So they're traveling in Vaikuntha airplanes along with their beautiful wives. And what are they doing? Srila Prabhupada explains to us that in the spiritual world, in the material world, what is the greatest attraction? The attraction between male and female. That's the strongest, that's the hard knot which is binding the conditioned soul to this material world. That family attachment. Family attachment also is rooted in that attraction between male and female. Sex attraction between male and female. That's the strongest attraction. The Vaimanikas are going, and by the way, the people in the Vaikuntha planets are so beautiful, you cannot compare even the most beautiful person in this material, what to speak of on this earth, even in heavenly planets, Apsaras and, the most beautiful personalities you may know. In front of the residents of Vaikuntha, their beauty is nothing. The damsels of Vaikuntha, the wives of the Vaikuntha Vasis, extremely beautiful. Still, there is no sexual attraction. Everyone is engaged in glorifying the Supreme Lord. So, this verse is saying, Vaimanikaha salalanas charitani shashwat gayanti. What are they doing? The Vaikuntha Vasis along with their wives. Charitani. Charitani means the activities, wonderful activities of who? Of the Supreme Lord. So they're traveling in these vimanas along with their wives and they're glorifying, they're singing. Shashvat Gayanti. Charitani Shashvat Gayanti. Huh? So they're eternally singing the glories of the Supreme Lord. Charitani Shashvat Gayanti. Yatra Shamalak Shapanani Bhartuhu. Yatra. In that. In what? In that glorification. Or in those activities of the Supreme Lord. Shamalak Shapanani. Shamala means inauspicious qualities. Kshapanani means there is none. So, in those wonderful activities of the Supreme Lord, there is no inauspiciousness. There are no inauspicious qualities. They are constantly, eternally singing the glories of the Supreme Lord. Even when they are traveling in their airplanes along with their beautiful consorts, constantly, eternally, they are singing the glories of the Supreme Lord, singing about the activities, right? The qualities and the activities, the form, the names of the Supreme Lord. So they're singing. And these attributes of the Supreme Lord, his activities, have nothing inauspicious in them. Okay? Then, Bhartuhu, here Bharta means who? The Supreme Lord, Bhagwan. So they're singing the glories of the Lord. Then what happened? Antarjale nu vikasan madhumadhavinam gandhena khandita dhiyopi anilam kshipantaha. Antarjale. So while they are flying in the airplane, they come across, this is in Vaikuntha, as they're flying in their airplanes, they come across a very beautiful lake or a pond of water. So they alight, they come down, they land from their airplanes when they see the pond. Why? Normally, what would you expect? If somebody is coming down to a beautiful, pond while you're traveling, you want to get some recreation, right? Or become refreshed, or just have some, relax. That was not the purpose. They were already singing the glories of the Lord. They are eternally singing the activities of the Lord. They wanted to sing some special notes. When you sing, there are different notes. So when you submerge in the water, you can sing better. So I don't know if any of you have tried that or if you're aware of this, but to improve your singing, they go down underwater, neck deep, and then they sing the higher notes, right? The special notes that they would like to sing. It helps them sing. So for that purpose, they got down. They came down, seeing the lake of water or the pond of water, they came down. A very beautiful scene. And what did they do? Because they were traveling with their consorts, so they, how do I say? They hid their consorts on trees, covering them with leaves. Made them, sit on the trees, and they covered them with the leaves. And then they went into the water. And while in the water, they were neck deep. There, they started singing the glories of the Lord in special notes. Antar jalenu vikasan. And then, meanwhile, this is a very, what do you say, wonderful pond, and there are very fragrant flowers, Madhavi flowers, growing around that lake or around that pond. Extremely fragrant. They can just steal away the minds of anyone by their sweet fragrance. Added to that, there is this gentle breeze which is carrying the aroma of these Madhavi flowers everywhere. The whole place is completely, filled with the sweet aroma of Madhavi flowers. This can steal away the mind of anyone. These are the flowers of Vaikuntha. Imagine. Just like you cannot compare the beauty of the residents of Vaikuntha with anything we know in this world, similarly, you cannot compare the beauty of the flowers, the fragrance of the flowers, and the honey from those flowers. You cannot compare it with anything in this world. So there were these Madhavi flowers with such wonderful fragrance. And here are the, Vaikuntha-vasis who got down and they're inside the water singing. And the fragrance, the aroma of the Madhavi flowers comes to their nostrils. Antar jalenu vikasan madhu madhavinam gandhena khandita dhiyo. And when that fragrance touched their nostrils, and it is, so what will happen normally? Again, if you are doing something and all of a sudden, here what were they doing? They were practicing, isn't it? They were practicing. Let's say, what's our experience in this world? You're practicing something. Maybe you're practicing singing, practicing mridanga, a harmonium, even studying Bhagavatam, whatever else you're doing. And all of a sudden, you happen to smell very sweet fragrance. What will happen to you? You'll stop what you're doing and you'll wonder, where is this fragrance coming from? Isn't it? Here it was the opposite. When that fragrance came, khandita, they condemned it. What is this? Why they condemn? That's the point here. Gandhena khandita dhyopi anilam kshipantaha. And even not only that fragrance, but even that breeze which is carrying that fragrance to their nostrils. They condemned the breeze, right? And they considered this sweet fragrance of Madhavi flowers to be a disturbance. They considered this sweet fragrance to be a disturbance. And they condemned the breeze which is bringing that fragrance to their nostrils. Why? Because they were getting such taste in their devotional service. What is the devotional service? They're singing Charitani Shashwat Gayanti Yatra Shamalak Shapanani Bhartuhu. Bhartu means the Lord. They're singing the wonderful activities, about the wonderful activities of the Supreme Master, the Supreme Lord. And they got into that pond to sing even better, to sing special notes. That's why they got into that water. And they're singing the glories of the Lord. This is their devotional service. And while performing this devotional service, they are getting so much pleasure. And the pleasure of that fragrance seemed like a disturbance to them. That means that pleasure, by the way, you should also note, this is not material pleasure. This is Vaikuntha. The flowers there are also Shuddha Sattva. The fragrance is also Shuddha Sattva. However, their smelling that fragrance would be their sense gratification. But their singing the glories of the Lord is for the Lord's pleasure. Devotional service means it's meant for the Lord's pleasure. Sometimes we think that, of course, you also get pleasure. But the purpose of when you say pure devotional service, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Anya Abhilasha. Any other desire you have, that should be zero. I'll tell you some points here. I'll try to remember what I heard. So, Srila Rupa Goswami gives us this definition of Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadhyanavritam, Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Uttama Bhakti. He's giving us the definition of Uttama Bhakti. So, in Uttama Bhakti, there are 3 points here. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Second is Jnana Karmadhyanavritam. Third one is Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. Krishna Anushilanam. Krishna Anushilanam means performing Shilanam. Shilanam means activity. How do you perform? Actually, it can be activity or it can be bhava. 2 things are there. But activity is performed with your body, mind and speech, or body, mind or speech. Cheshta, performed with body, mind or speech. That's one meaning of Shilanam. That's not the only meaning, by the way. That's one meaning of Shilanam. And then there is another meaning. The bhava, the feelings. Doing an activity with your mind, like thinking, memorizing, remembering, that is activity. But the feelings that you get in your heart, in your mind, that's of a different category. That is also Shilanam. The feelings that you get, bhava. That is there. Anyway, I won't go into the technical details now because this is Bhagavatam class. But I want to tell you about Anya Abhilasha. Anya Abhilashita. That is what is relevant to our verse here in the Bhagavatam. So, Anya Abhilasha. But in order to explain that, I have to tell you a little bit about this. So, devotional service means bhakti. So, there are 2 points in this definition given by Srila Rupa Goswami. There is Swarupa Lakshanam and Tatastha Lakshanam. So, Swarupa Lakshanam is this Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. So, I told you Shilanam means it can be activity performed with your body, mind or words, or it can be feeling and also your desire or endeavor to not commit, your mood of refraining from committing offenses, specifically offenses to the holy name and offenses in service, seva aprad and nam aprad. That mood is also Shilanam. And of course, this definition applies to higher bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti also, where there are anubhavas. So that also comes under Shilanam. So, but this activity that we are doing in the sadhana bhakti stage, Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. It should be done with a favorable mood. There should be no pratikula bhava. That means when you're rendering devotional service to the Lord, there should be no pratikula or negative mood in the performer. Only then you can call it bhakti. For example, if you say Krishna Anushilanam means continuously doing activity either with your body, mind or word again and again. Okay, for Krishna. And when you say Krishna, it includes different avatars, different forms of Krishna, Swamshas, like Lord Narayan, Lord Ramchandra, also included. And also to those who are related to him, like the spiritual master, pure devotees, all that comes under pure devotional service. Okay? Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. I'm telling you, Krishna Anushilanam. Shilanam, I told you, activity done with body, mind or words. Shilanam is also the bhava, the mood, right, of not committing offenses. And also Shilanam is bhava, the feelings, like sthai bhava. You have so this comes, the bhava that we are talking about, that comes in higher stages. Okay. And also the other one, anubhavas, which are activities done in higher stages of bhakti. All this comes in Shilanam. But this is done continuously for Krishna or for those related to Krishna. That is not only, that much is not sufficient. Anukulyana is important. Anukula. Anukula means what? That which is pleasing to the Lord. So if you say performing activity again and again in order to please the Lord, or activity which you are doing which is pleasing to the Lord, if you say this is bhakti, what is the problem, Does anyone know what is the problem? If you say performing activity with your body, mind or word continuously again and again, which pleases the Lord, some problems come here. One problem is Kamsa is also doing activity again and again. With his mind, he's thinking about Krishna all the time. Yes?
Yeah.
And when Krishna fights with Kamsa, does Krishna get pleasure or not?
Yeah.
Krishna gets pleasure. Yes, he gets.
He gets pleasure.
When
Yeah.
Krishna fights the demons, he gets pleasure. So Krishna is pleased. And Kamsa is constantly doing activities with his body, mind or words. So what Kamsa is doing is bhakti. Can we say?
Yeah.
No. You can say?
But unknowingly he's doing, no?
No. That is why what is his mood? Is he doing it to please Krishna?
No.
That is why the performer's intention is important. If the performer has pratikula bhava in his consciousness towards the Lord, even if he is always doing through body, mind or words, he's, doing activities in relation to the Lord, but he has pratikula bhava, like inimical feeling, then we don't call it bhakti, even if he is remembering. And it may even please Krishna, still we don't call it bhakti. And one more problem is, was Krishna pleased when Yashoda Mai left him to go to take care of the milk? Was Krishna happy when Yashoda Mai put him down to go and take care of the milk?
No.
No.
He
was not happy. That means Krishna is not pleased by Yashoda Mai's activity. So
Yeah.
Yashoda Mai, she's not a devotee.
No. That's
the point. If we say doing activity again and again for Krishna, which pleases Krishna, then those who are not devotees will fall in the devotee category. Those who are devotees will fall out of devotee category. So therefore, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur adjusts and he says, there should be, when you say anukulyana means there should be no pratikula bhava in the heart. There should not be any inimical or, pratikula. Pratikula means anti, right? Against. There shouldn't be any pratikula bhava in the heart of the performer. That's when you can call it bhakti. So then Yashoda Mai, what she did, Krishna was not happy. Still she's a devotee. Why? Because in her heart, why she put Krishna down? Why she went to take care of milk? For Krishna's sake only. With that milk, she wanted to make yogurt, and with that yogurt, she
Yeah.
wanted to make the best butter so she could feed it to Krishna. So there was no pratikula bhava in her heart when she put Krishna down to take care of that milk. Therefore, Yashodama is still a devotee. Kamsa, even though he's always thinking of the Lord, still, because there was pratikula bhava, he saw Krishna as his enemy or as death personified. So therefore, his activity cannot be called bhakti. But this is still just, we are only discussing bhakti. This is still not Shuddha bhakti. It's not yet pure devotion. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam is not yet pure devotional service, because you can be doing activities. How many types of activities are there? There is karma, there is jnana, and then there is bhakti. There is karma, jnana, and bhakti. So if I'm doing karma and if I'm offering it to the Lord, it will still satisfy this definition of anukulyena krishnanushilanam. You're doing it without any pratikula bhava, and you're doing karma. You can do Brahmana karma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Stri dharma, whatever different dharmas you can do, and you can offer it to the Lord. But that is still not Shuddha Bhakti. Why? Because that is one problem. And there is other problem. Here, your purpose of doing devotional service is to please the Lord. Isn't it? Supposed to be to please the Lord. But along with that, you can have other desires also. You understand?
Yeah.
You want to please the Lord, but also you want to please your family.
Uh-huh.
You want to please your children, your husband, your wife, and your boss. And sometimes even I want liberation. I want to please the Lord, but also I don't want to come back to this material world. Desires are also of three types. I told you activities, you have karma, jnana, and bhakti. Desires are also of three types. Can anyone tell me what are the three types of desires one can have? Three types of desires one can have.
Self and God.
Overall, in the
Overall.
bigger scale, just three. Okay, I'll just tell you. Bhukti, Mukti, and Bhakti.
Bhakti.
Bhukti, Mukti, Bhakti. Bhukti means sense gratification. Material desires. Material desires, Bhukti. Mukti means liberation from this world.
And,
I don't want to take birth, liberation. Bhakti means simply to please the Lord. So, if we simply say, Bhakti's definition is Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam, that means doing activity or even having feelings, whatever, just in relation to the Lord, and 24/7 continuously you're doing without any pratikula bhava, negativity towards the Lord. If you don't, without that, if you're doing, that is still not pure devotion, because you can be doing that while harboring, while maintaining other desires. Other desire means desire other than bhakti. That means bhukti, mukti will be there.
oh,
Material desire, sense gratification, or liberation. These desires may also be there. So that contaminates our bhakti. And then the other thing is, even if you don't have that, not that you don't have, the other thing is the activity that you do. I told you three types of activity: karma, jnana, and bhakti. If you mix karma and jnana with bhakti, that also becomes mixed. Mishra bhakti it becomes. It doesn't become pure. Therefore, to purify this, definition of Anukulyena Krishnanushīlanam, 2 more adjectives are added. Tatastha lakshanas are added. One is Anyabhilashita Shunyam.
Shunya.
Shunya means 0. Anya Abhilasha. Anya means other. Abhilasha means desire. What is the other desire? That means here we are talking of bhakti. So any desire other than bhakti. So it can be either mukti or bhukti. Desire for liberation or desire for material desires. It can be for name, fame, profit, going to higher planets, enjoying, right? Or even sometimes to destroy your enemy. That can also be a material desire. Whatever it is. But desires for material desires or desire for liberation. It should be free from these two. Shunyam, these should be 0. Now, very interesting point about pure devotees. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. It's not said Anyabhilasha Shunyam, it is said Anyabhilashita. Abhilashita. Abhilasha means desire. Anya Abhilasha Shunyam means all other desires are 0. So a pure devotee should not have any desire other than pleasing Krishna. Other than bhakti, he should have no other desire. But that's not the condition for pure devotee. The condition is Abhilashita means, like in English you say ness, right? Ness, ness, right? What are some examples? Desirelessness. You understand? That means it's talking about the nature, not desireless. The person is not required to be desireless all the time, but he should have the nature of desirelessness. What does that mean? That means in general, because you have that nature of desirelessness. Desirelessness means what type of desire? Anya, other desires are not there. That is your nature, a pure devotee's nature. That means anything other than bhakti, normally he will not desire. That's the point. But under extreme circumstance, extreme means really like when it is like a life and death situation, which comes up suddenly. All of a sudden it's in front of you when you're in a difficult situation. A pure devotee may pray to the Lord, call out to the Lord, "Oh my Lord, please save me from this difficult situation." Now, if a devotee is asking like this, can we say he's not a pure devotee? Example is given. Draupadi. For a woman, for a chaste lady, her honor, her chastity is dearer than life. If she loses her honor, if she loses her chastity, it's worse than death for her. So Draupadi was in a situation, a life and death situation, where she was forcibly being stripped naked in front of an assembly of Kshatriya warriors. And in that helpless condition, she called out to Krishna. For what? For a sari to cover her so that she won't become naked in front of all these people, so that her honor will be saved, protected. So asking for sari, for a sari, is that Anya Avilasha or not? I should tell you one more thing. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. The constitutional position of the living entity is to serve the Supreme Lord. The constitutional position of a fish is to be in water. For how long does the fish stay in water? Does it stay in water once a day, right, in the morning, and then the rest of the day it's outside going around, and then in the evening again goes and takes a dip in the water? Does it do that?
No.
No, it'll die. Similarly, when you say a pure devotee, it's not that in the morning I will do the morning program, in the evening I'll do evening program, and the rest of the day I will do my office work and I'm a pure devotee. Does it work like that? A pure devotee is constantly in touch with the Lord. Why? Because that is the nature. So when you actually come to that stage, you cannot stay outside, cannot stay without being in touch with the Lord even for a moment. Why? Because that is the constitutional position of the living entity, to serve the Supreme Lord. That is a pure devotee. Of course, there is stages there. There is a stage where you're convinced that being a spirit soul, I must render devotional service to the Lord 24/7. No other duty is important because this is not my identity. No other duty is important. No other duty is above devotional service to Krishna. He is convinced about this based on, this is called Shraddha. This is faith. And that faith, Srila Prabhupada says, is the beginning of pure devotional service. I'm convinced that this is the only thing I have to do 24/7. That is why either through body, mind or speech, continuously he endeavors. He may fall at times, but his endeavor never stops. Important thing is the endeavor is there constantly. Not that I have completed my 16 rounds, I have completed my morning program, I've completed my evening program, now I'm a pure devotee. No, that is the beginning. We have to go even further. We have to go further. Constantly, you have to endeavor. When we'll be able to do that? When we get that faith, that firm faith, that being a spirit soul, my constitutional position is to serve the Supreme Lord. Being a wife, being a husband, being a doctor, engineer, lawyer, businessman, whatever. This is not my identity. That's not my identity. You understand? So, therefore, Anukulyena Krishnanushīlanam should happen all the time. But while that is happening, if I'm maintaining such other identities, then that is interfering with my continuous devotional service. When I identify myself as belonging to a particular community or to a particular profession or to a particular family, that identity is not pure. It's interfering with my natural constitutional position of rendering devotional service to Krishna. So we should come. That is why these two adjectives are given. Anyabhilashita shunyam, not having any other desire. Other means other than my constitutional position of rendering devotional service to Krishna. No desire for sense gratification, no desire for liberation also. Simply concerned with pleasing the Lord. So, I was telling you, abhilashita means the nature of pure devotee is not desiring anything other than pleasing the Lord. However, in an emergency, which comes up suddenly, like a life emergency means life and death situation, we may see sometimes that even pure devotees are calling to the Supreme Lord and asking for some material thing. It may seem like that. And they are actually asking, but that does not interfere with their being pure devotees. That is allowed. Otherwise, we will have to say, because Draupadi is calling out to Krishna in a materially difficult situation, and she's asking Krishna to protect her honor, therefore she's not a pure devotee. No, she is a pure devotee. That is why what is important is Anya Abhilashita, that nature of not desiring anything other than pleasing Krishna, that is required. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. So if I have a nature of desiring other things, then I cannot be a pure devotee. That has to be zero. That nature of desiring anything other than pleasing Krishna should be zero. However, sometimes means specifically life and death situation, a devotee may call out to Krishna for help that doesn't interfere with his pure devotional service. So coming back to our verse here in Srimad Bhagavatam, these Vaimanikas means those who are traveling in the airplanes, Vaikuntavasis, they got down into this lake. They kept their wives in the trees and they're singing the Lord's wonderful activities in special notes. And all of a sudden they smell this breeze is bringing the sweet fragrance of Madhavi flowers, and they condemned it. They condemned the breeze, and they said, they considered that enchanting fragrance. And Prabhupada says how it's honey, right? They're not just breeze, but even the honey the breeze was carrying. They condemned it. Why? Because it's a disturbance. It's a disturbance. Because that, two things here. First of all, it will be sense gratification for them, right? So anything which is interfering with their service to the Lord is a disturbance. Because they're smelling that fragrance, how is it devotional service? It's sense gratification.
Yeah.
But another point is, so that's why, another point is, but it is really enchanting. But they were not getting any pleasure from that. It is not that you should see the fine point here. You see, there are these yogis, like Vishwamitra Muni, when he was performing tapasya. When Menaka came, he got distracted. And then, he went away and he came back once again. He just left everything. Once again, he started performing tapasya. This time, Ramba came. He learned his lesson from Menaka not to get distracted. This time, he became a victim of anger. He cursed her. So the point is that you're getting distracted because the object that is coming to you is attractive to you.
Yeah.
So that attraction, either you become tempted or the other side of the coin is anger. You just show your, resentment. In their case, it's not that it was very attractive to them. They were getting such pleasure in their devotional service that this fragrance seemed insignificant. So they said, you're thinking you're going to disturb me from the nectar, the pleasure that I'm getting in glorifying the Lord? No way. So that is why in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, the inhabitants of Vaikuntha give first preference to the service of the Lord, not their own sense gratification. That's the first point. Serving the Lord in transcendental love yields such transcendental pleasure that in comparison, sense gratification is counted as insignificant. So 2 points are there here. One thing is that they give first priority to devotional service. They don't let anything else disturb it. Second thing is, nothing else seems attractive to them, save and except devotional service. I hope I made some sense. I will stop here. It's 9 o'clock. Does anyone have any comments questions.
Can I ask a small question?
Yes, Mataji.
Of course, that is not in Krishna's tradition. It's in Rama's. When Shabari gave the fruits to Rama, first she checked how they tasted and everything, and then she gave. So that's not her that's her satisfaction to please Rama. Want to give Rama the good fruit. But how it will work?
We should act according to our position. So there are devotees in various levels.
That's true.
So though when we are in the lower stages, we act as per the directions given in Shastra. So what rules you're supposed to follow, what rules, no, all rules you have to follow. What you can do, what you cannot do, you have to follow strictly.
Mm.
But when you cross the stage of, you get a raga, right? Then there in Raganuga Bhakti, these become obstacles. Rules and regulations become obstacles. Actually, Raganuga Bhakti is only for Golok Rajbasis and Golok Vrindavan Dham. However, I think, I mean, that's where in Raganuga Bhakti, the rules sometimes become impediments. In spontaneous devotional, that's the word. Yeah, in spontaneous devotional service, the rules become an impediment sometimes. It's not that willingly they're always breaking rules. It's not like that. But the particular fruit that Shabari was giving, there is no way to tell if it is a good fruit or bad fruit except by tasting it. If she could tell by seeing, she would have certainly done that. So here the thing is, again, to please the Lord. But she's on such a high level that she wanted to give the best fruit to the Lord, and the only way she could tell if it is good one or not was by biting it. But can we imitate that? No, we should not.
No.
Because, so that is the thing. We have to act according to our, qualification.
That's true.
Yeah.
We normally we don't do because we
Right.
look the fruit from outside. If it is looking good, then we offer to God.
Yes.
That's what we do. But I'm just asking the curious question. In Rama's region only, what she did. Yeah, she's more exalted devotee than us. I know that.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
that. But I'm just.
And the Lord accepted it. He
He
was
accepted
pleased.
it. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Bhavagrahi Janardana.
Yes, that's true.
Krishna is looking at your bhava. But we cannot fake and imitate that bhava when we don't have it. Right? He knows when we actually have it and when
That's true. That's true.
yeah. That is why, Srila Prabhupada told devotees not to stay more than 3 days in Vrindavan, because then you will meet with the devotees there and then you will think, oh, in bhava they are acting like this, I will also do this.
Yeah.
We will be, jeopardizing our position in devotional service by acting like that immaturely. It has to ripen gradually. We have to come to that stage and then things will happen. So for now, we have to follow the path that has been given.
One thing, Mataji, this Vaikuntha description of Vaikuntha, in last class also, we heard so many things. I just mentally I felt, oh God, how much those things and how the devotees are doing there. They don't have any other ambition. They have just praying God and be living there. Oh, that I was imagining everything, It was really very nice. And at the same time that, like you said, flowers of fragrances and everything, they just did for devotional thing, not for sense gratification. They didn't feel for them. Here, when we see a beautiful flower, I always feel, oh, this is so beautiful. Right away, I don't want, my mind, has to go to put it in lotus feet of Krishna. So right away, I pluck the flower and then first my enjoy my eyes, and I don't smell, but I enjoy that
Yes.
looking at it. That itself
Yes.
is also. But
Yes.
God has given these eyes. What to do?
Well, God has given eyes to them also. That's why we have to see the perfect personalities and learn from them,
That's
aspire to be like them
that's
someday.
yeah,
Thank you, Mataji.
that
Hare
was
Krishna.
really something.
Anyone
Thank you.
else has thank you, Mataji. Anyone has
Uh,
any other? Yes,
Hare
Suman
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji. Very nice
Yes.
class. Very nice. Very nicely described. And I also like the point of their going into the water and singing. That was very interesting. And sometimes, because I take long time to do the dishes, and sometimes I feel that when I'm doing the dishes, and I'm more focused in singing or saying verses, and I enjoy doing that when I'm doing dishes. So I really related that to they're going in, submerging in the water and singing.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I do that too. Well, I don't know,
Yeah,
somehow there's some connection with cleaning the dishes and
yeah,
singing. I don't know. Thank you,
yeah.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That's
Okay.
very
Thank
nice.
you, Mother
Any
Rachel
other?
Bhakti. It was a very nice class. I was trying to think if I had any realization as you were talking about this, any experience about having, felt like this ever in my devotional service, and I was struggling. And then I thought one time I was in New Vrindavan. I went there for a japa retreat, and this was many years ago. And it was like a 5 day, just into the holy name with His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj and some other devotees. And I was telling people, what I was doing, and tell my boss I was leaving for, work for it, and my mother and father where I was going. And they would not understand. They would think, oh, you're going just to chant the holy names for 5 days. What a waste of time. Why would you do something like this? So I had to say, New Vrindavan is a beautiful place up in the mountains. So you're going nature seeing, taking pictures. And it was around this time of the year where the leaves are turning. So anyway, that was kind of my excuse of going. And so when I got there, I felt some obligation. Okay, so I'll combine this japa retreat with nature seeing. And we were doing pretty intense. It was like 64 round days. And I remember thinking, okay, I'll chant, but then I'll go for a japa walk in nature. And then I realized very soon that I didn't want to go for a nature walk, because the nature walk was actually a distraction, because I wasn't really chanting
That's true.
the holy names. I was looking at this tree and this animal and that animal. And later, even though it was beautiful, and you could say, yes, it's Krishna's creation, Krishna's energy, but it was a distraction from actually chanting the holy names. And I had no desire at that point to go. Even devotees were saying, let's go, half a day for a nature walk, half a rounds we'll chant inside, chant the rounds outside. I say, no, for me, this is like a big distraction. Um, that was my only realization. I just reflecting on, do I have anything like that where I feel like an impediment sometimes like that. So anyway, I was just reflecting on that, and I just wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate how you, really actually, when you hear, you're actually getting into it and connecting things. Very nice. Thank you for that, Parigi. I
But
appreciate that.
one thing, Mataji, same thing happens when I stay on the backyard of my house and I just want to chant, go around there and chant. But my distraction goes to if I see a blue bird or if I see a red bird, I my mind goes to how Krishna's creations are. This bird is red, this bird is blue, that one is black, and how much Krishna is creating this kind of birds. So my mind goes into that.
Yes.
Few minutes I stop my japa, chanting, and my mind goes there. Whether it is correct or not, I don't know. I see all that, leaves fall from the tree. Oh, this is what after some person gets old age, he will fall from the tree. And that's how my mind goes in a distracts. Whether it is I'm going for Krishna's creation or I'm going for my own sense gratification. Tell
I
me.
think Dronacharya Prabhu's example, you know what is that you should apply that.
Yeah. I don't know, but I go for Krishna's creation only.
Yeah.
Not that I don't sing, I want to take the bird and keep it in my house or anything like that, no. But the way Krishna created that.
Yeah. See, Yashoda Mai was also, she was feeding Krishna. Krishna was, she was
Yeah.
engaged in that. But she went to take care of milk. But taking care of that milk was for
Krishna.
Krishna's service. So you should see, this is actually taking you away from your chanting at that time. You understand, Mataji?
Yeah, but going to Krishna only. I'm thinking of Krishna only there. I don't know how
Thinking of
to.
Krishna only. I got the point what you're saying. Anyone else would like to answer that for Mataji?
I think everybody must have left.
No, they're here.
11 people are here.
Yeah. Being philosophical is one thing, Mataji, but when you're chanting, it's actually directly engaging in the service of the Lord. Even like you can go deeper and deeper and deeper into the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When you say that whatever you're seeing, this is also Krishna's creation, that is one level of Krishna consciousness, no doubt. But in Krishna consciousness also there are higher and higher levels. For example, there's Krishna's external energy and there is Krishna's internal energy. So when you say the sun and the sun and moon are his eyes, right? He is the taste of water, he is light of the sun and
Yeah.
moon, he is the sound in ether. That is also Krishna consciousness, but there you are seeing all this, whatever I am seeing, this is Krishna's external energy. But his internal energy is certainly superior to external energy.
Yeah, that's true. Of course.
And in his internal energy, the condensed form of the internal energy. In internal energy, you have Sandhini, Samvid, and Haladini. Haladini is the pleasure potency. The condensed form of that pleasure potency is Bhakti. In that Bhakti also, you have various levels. The topmost is Mahabhav. Personification of that Mahabhav is Srimati Radharani. So when you're chanting Hare Krishna, it's the highest actually. So getting distracted from that to appreciate the nature, I feel it is coming down.
Okay. But you know what? We are sitting alone in some place and start chanting. Then also your monkey mind goes somewhere.
Of course, we have to accept that. So mind goes here and there, but the important thing
Bring it
is,
back.
yes, if I have that firm faith that this is what I'm supposed to do, as soon as I realize that the mind is going somewhere, I will pull it back.
Yeah.
Mind's going away is not the problem. When the mind goes away, I let it go away deliberately. I go away with the mind. That is a problem.
Yes. That's
As soon as I realize that my mind is going somewhere, when I realize it, if I bring it back, that person can still be a pure devotee. That endeavor has to be there. That's the thing. The endeavor to come back to Krishna. Endeavor to come back to Krishna all the time. One way or the other, body, mind, or speech. And that will happen when we get faith, firm faith.
Yes.
And firm faith comes by the mercy of one who has it.
Yes.
And not only that, that is the beginning. Along with that, from Shastra, because faith, the definition of faith is Shastrartha Vishwasa, conviction in the statement of Shastra. This is the definition of faith. And you cannot get it simply by hearing Shastra. You need to get the mercy of a pure devotee first.
That's true.
So combination of mercy of a pure devotee and hearing from Shastra, then you get conviction in the words of Shastra. By this, when you get faith, even if my mind is going here and there, I will keep endeavoring with whatever I have, right? Until my last breath, I will just keep endeavoring to come back to Krishna. And it may take me millions of lifetimes, never mind. We have the example of Mukunda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that he mingles with the Mayavadis. I won't see him. He's giving his darshan to everyone else, but he's not calling Mukunda. So then Mukunda was hiding and crying. All the devotees were feeling bad. They went to Mahaprabhu and they said, please, my Lord, see him. He said, no, I'll never see him. So then Mukunda from behind, he said, ask him, will I ever see him? Will he see me at some point? Then Mahaprabhu said, after 10 million lifetimes, 10 million births. And he started jumping. This is the point we should note.
That's true.
He is not thinking that, 10 million births, when will that? No, but look at his enthusiasm. He is willing to wait for 10 million lifetimes because finally the Lord is going to see me. So this is the nature of a pure devotee, that he will keep trying and trying and trying, even in the face of most difficult situations, impossible situation. It may be completely a hopeless situation, but he will give. He will endeavor with whatever he has to be Krishna conscious. That's the point.
Thank you very much.
I will end. It's my God, 20 minutes over. I'm so sorry. I will end. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakti.
Jai. Thank you very much, Mataji. Sorry, I kept you.
No,
Hare Krishna.
Hare